Alright, let's get into this a bit. Hello there folks, Nerdy John here, and yeah, some stuff came out about Skydoesminecraft. I believe this is his, second partner. I don't know if this is his second wife or first wife, specifically. Point is, this is a partner he had, and, had a kid with who he cannot see. But let's read the document. Trigger warning: assault, abuse, blood, trauma, pregnancy. Some info in screenshots have to be covered to protect me and my daughter's identity, to prevent any harassment to the police department. Dear Adam, which is AK Net Nobody, I am going to do my best to be the voice you have. I'm going to do my best to be the voice you have taken from so many. You hurt, you abuse, you manipulate, and you lie. You are a sick man. I have spent months and months loving you with my entire being. I spent thousands of dollars just to come live with you. You made promises you didn't want to keep, but promises you made to manipulate my life so you could be in control. You use your fame, your name, and your platform to hide the disgusting and disgraceful things that you so claim not to do. You not only verbally abusive and degraded me, the mother of your second child, you traumatized me and put me through things no one should have ever experienced. You hurt me for too long, and I am tired of feeling afraid of you and what speaking up may bring. I had to tell people you weren't abusive, because whenever I said you were, you would harass me and say horrible, horrible things. You were so unkind. I do not wish for anyone to have mental health struggles, nor do I wish for somebody, even you, to even have such severe struggles. I wanted nothing but to love and help you heal. You informed me that you were only bipolar and possibly on the spectrum, which was never a problem to me. That was not the case. You hid from me. What you hid from me is the dangerous human being that you were capable of being. The person you are overall. 95% of our relationship, you hid me. You refused to want people to know my name or know about me at all. You avoided it at all costs, saying it was to protect the relationship. You refused to even let me talk about the baby publicly, as if it was irrelevant and you didn't care. I wasn't ready for a baby. I spoke of always wanting one, but I continuously told you I wasn't ready, nor was I financially in a place to have a child. You squeezed my body and were near begging for me to let you get me pregnant, saying stuff like, please, 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 I want another kid. I have the money. I want another kid because Alicia keeps me from being the father I dream of, and much more. When I started to get uncomfortable and tried to stop the intimate moment, you pressured me into letting it happen. You didn't stop until I felt forced to say fine, while clearly uncomfortable. I cried myself to sleep when I told you I was actually pregnant, and you had the oh cool face and was slight smirk as if you got what you wanted all along. At the time, I was just oblivious. I thought I was just overthinking things. I wanted to pretend everything was fine. So, in this first paragraph, hot damn, is there a lot of accusations thrown. Hey, Nerdy John, someone formatted the iCloud document into a Google document. So far, more coherent. Everything is the same other than the formatting, but it's a lot easier to read. Oh, is it? Well, that's good to hear at least. But I'm already reading deep into this. But let's continue on with this. Jesus Christ. All right. This is a lot of heavy accusations thrown this way. A lot of it's like you forced me to have your child. Possibly like abuse from his end. So yeah, it's yikes. Throughout our relationship, you were always on your phone, always hiding messages, having separate texting apps, and deleting conversations. You tried to pressure me into letting you be poly with your friend, and degraded me when I told you it's not my thing, and not comfortable with that. You just like cheating. You feel better than anyone else, and you want people to do whatever you say. You not only cheated on me, you did it several times before I even moved in with you. I found all the conversations, all the emails, everything that showed I was just a trophy to you, just an object on the shelf. You made me promise to you. I kept telling you it was too soon. I kept saying I wasn't ready, and you would reply with, "You're literally pregnant." As if you didn't care how I told you I wasn't ready for that either. You continuously pushed it. You kept saying I'm not ready. I kept saying I'm not ready. You even tried convincing me to let you buy my unborn baby. You said word for word, "If you don't want her, I'll just give you like 100 grand or something." You act like your kids are just objects. You haven't had that kind of money in years. You kept pushing. It even made me order rings and made me sit down and engage myself to you. I was heartbroken, and my dreams of marriage were beyond crushed. You made the announcement on Twitter, and you said that you said yes. You didn't mention how it was forced. Why didn't I leave? Why didn't I leave? Why didn't I run as fast as I could? Because I was scared. You treated me and everyone as peasants, and you would use your popularity against us. You stole money from companies just to buy drugs and never do the work. I had to pull thousands of dollars I needed for food, bills, out of my ass just to pay back those individuals and pay bills with what was left. They were so kind about it. I was so scared. I wanted so badly to slip them a note saying I'm afraid. I felt numb. I wanted to die. I was ready to take myself to the hospital just so I could sleep in a clean bed and have safe people around me. I was giving the baby every ounce of energy I could when I barely had any. Sleep deprivation is so dangerous, and you didn't care. Even at your stable moments, I would beg and cry just to be left alone. I was so tired. I just wanted you better. I wanted you better, but I was falling apart. I knew for a while I wanted to leave. I just never knew how. I would try to talk to you about your actions calmly, and I would give ultimatums, and you'd treat me horribly. I kept in touch with some friends close by, and also friends in other states, so some people were in the loop, and I had people to talk to. I constantly feel dumb and tell myself I deserve it all for not walking away sooner. I blame myself when I shouldn't. You would constantly bitch at me for doing things you would ask me to. You love eggs and cheese, and you love pasta. So one night, I was excited. I made you eggs and some delicious pasta. I handed it to you, and you threw it at the table saying, "Why the fuck would you make that?" I replied, "You love that food." And you said, "Doesn't fucking go together, so thanks. Now I just won't eat." And proceeded to throw a tiny tantrum. I went and sat in the shower and cried for what felt like hours. You would always say I pay for everything when I never would ask you to. I kept offering to help. You wanted to own me and keep making fake promises. You just wanted to be in control of my life. You would have me get ready for date nights, bitch about being too tired, and then invite your friends over. I was constantly asking you to spend time with me. I would be so stoked to go baby shopping, and you wanted nothing to do with it. You were so careless, yet stayed preaching to your fans about how great of a father you are and how excited you were. You even made me do all the hang on. You want to control my life over my friends. You even made me do all the birthday and Christmas shopping for your son, just for you to take all the credit for it. You bitched at me for not being able to move a washing machine that weighed 200 to 300 pounds. I was pregnant. I thought I broke our new washing machine. You asked me for help. I asked you for help, and you threw a tantrum, started calling me stupid and saying I didn't do anything right. It was never broken, it just needed a reset. I felt numb and sat on the floor. I wanted to end my life because you made me felt like I was you're not enough, you can't do anything right. I was never allowed to stand up for myself. If I had an anxiety attack, you would call me a baby and degrade me. Yet when you would get emotional, you expect everyone to bow down at your feet and feed you love and support on a gold platter. Jesus, okay. And again, to be specific here, this is all hearsay until we get a lot of further evidence. I know there are a lot of incriminating screenshots and there are some videos, but ultimately these are accusations and they need to be treated as such. Glad to see you broadcasting again. Yeah, of course, Mag Zero. Unfortunately, it's not a pretty subject. I know you're a bit older than me, but I'm sure you're somewhat aware of the YouTuber Skydoesminecraft. Yeah. This happened. Let's see, where was I at? 200 pounds, calling me stupid. Gold platter. Okay, here we go. Even when mentally stable, you knew how to help yourself. You knew abusing drugs could make you go into permanent psychosis. You abused drugs. You pressured our friends into doing drugs and would degrade them if they didn't want to do it. So many people spent so much money and time helping you when you needed help, yet you treated everyone so poorly when you didn't get what you want. I would let's see. I would ask you not to smoke near me or in the house to keep the baby safe. You'd bitch at me saying it's your house. I would have left if you made me take care of your I would have left. I would ask you not to smoke. I would have left. You made me take care of your baby. Elisa, your mother and I did everything. I admire the amount of amazing things that Alicia did. She works her ass off to give her son a beautiful life, and she does a fantastic job at doing so. You made the internet hate her, yet you hid that you were the main problem. You used your platform to try and ruin Alicia's life, yet you chose to leave out the things you caused. You would make me and your mother bring your child back and forth from visits. You sit in our room and make us feed/play with your child. I spent more time with the sweet boy in 3 months than you did in a year. You only post father pictures when it's convenient for you to make people think you're involved. I think that was a typo. You spread disgusting lies behind her back. You'd sit on your phone and go smoke and bitch at everyone else taking care of your son. Yeah, Jesus. Jesus Christ. That's bit yikes. Bit of a yikes, I would say. You also have assaulted and sexually harassed several women, even paid them off with hundreds of thousands of dollars, just to protect your perfect little image. You paid a girl to keep quiet years ago because you almost got her pregnant and you didn't care. You sent nudes to a young girl. You never asked for ages because you never cared. If they walked, you talked. That's not the first time you have done things. You'd be surprised what I've seen and found. You are extremely unfaithful. As soon as I left you, fucked my best friend, who I considered to be like a sister. Over years, you failed to acknowledge how you'd pay young girls money for their time and attention. Cheating is gross. Alicia loved you, and you would cheat, manipulate, lie, and when she defends herself, you would constantly spread rumors of Post Malone, saying awful things about his character, which is odd because last I checked, he was checking in on you and extremely kind. Was trying to help you out even from abusing drugs. You would act possessed and do a bunch of spiritual talk. I thought you were just deep into spirituality, but it was the drugs, because your psychosis a few years ago told you, your psychologist told you a few years ago that even weed is dangerous and could put you into a psychosis. Alicia tried so much to help you. All your girlfriends did. You didn't care. You tried cheating on me with a fucking AI Twitter account, and you would tell me how she is the only one that understands you. You would wake up to people in the middle of the night and talk about this AI. Wait, so like, did he fall for a scam bot? Is that what I'm hearing? Or like, did he know it was an AI, but he didn't care? That's interesting. Come February, you started acting weird. You stopped sleeping normally, stopped eating normally, got more and more mean, got more angry and verbally abusive at random times over the smallest things. It started getting scary, and movies didn't describe well enough how bad it can get. You started breaking shit, throwing things, pulling stuff off of the walls, and screaming at ants. You started calling Albert Elon Musk and forcing him to drink Gatorade and eat candy. You'd lock Albert in a kennel and scream at him. It was freezing cold outside, and you'd let him outside. He got lost and nearly froze to death. He was shivering. You did that several times. You jump in and out of the windows. You scattered food over the counters and floors. That's when some people reached back to me and told me the truth. Thankfully, Alicia reached out to me. And I broke down. She was so kind and helped me tremendously. She explained everything I needed to know. Apparently, you acted like I was well informed of your whole life, except you constantly lied. People who've experienced this side of you tried to get you help, even when sober and mentally stable. You treat people like shit. You started forcing me into sleep deprivation. You started clogging the drains, knowing how deep into pregnancy I was and how bad I'd need to access the restroom. I had to waddle to the store late at night just to use the restroom, tears in my eyes and my hair in a mess because you wouldn't let me shower. You constantly tell me how I'm going to be a bad mother because I couldn't do anything fast enough or to your standard. You would scream at me to leave, and when I tried, you would grab me speaking nonsense. I tried so desperately to bring you back to baseline. I tried so hard. I feel like a failure, but I fucking tried. You ran me into a door twice because I wouldn't run. I had nowhere to go, and I tried so hard to love you and to make you be okay. You refuse to acknowledge any of this. Whenever proof has shown you were so ugly to me, you had stable moments and still did not care what you were doing. All right. You would harass people on Discord, spam people in the middle of the night. You speak in tongue and blast music. You'd open doors while it's a blizzard. You dragged my dog by his throat and threw him into a kennel, then surrounded him by mirrors, all because he was nervous. He just never liked you deep down. You tried getting in my face when Matic, so my dog would interfere and bite you to protect me and baby in my belly still. You drag him again. You wouldn't let me sleep. Our friends tried so desperately to bring you back to baseline. I did everything I could. I sang you to sleep. I hate the sound of my voice. I just made meals just for you to throw them on the floor. You'd be saying vulgar things to me, and I'd still hug you and say how much I love you and want you to get better. You kept talking about you kept talking about ant venom, saying how much you hated him. Yet when you were screaming nonsense, this is an old YouTuber. This is one of his old Minecraft buddies. And yet, you were screaming nonsense to him on a Discord call. I had snagged the phone, and he was so humble and so kind. Such a lovely individual. Sucks I had to meet him that way, but I did my best to keep what was really happening low key. Kept spamming Alicia to see your son, and I made sure she was in the loop because he would not be safe in that home. You have a history you hid of putting your son at risk when you get upset. You ended up randomly punching a big amethyst you have from being frustrated, cutting a gash into your knuckle. You came up to me and I continuously tried to clean it and bandage it. While our friends tried to keep you calm, you came to me with the bandages off and started putting blood on my face and my hand. I was horrified. You started painting on the walls with your blood. You put marks on our lizard tank and our bathroom walls, as well as all the mirrors. You elbowed me in my belly several times. I was trying to love you. I continuously spoke calmly, did everything I could. I kept trying to get you to the hospital. You wouldn't even walk in front of the door without starting to threaten me with violent acts unless I took you home. We all ended up convincing you to go to get your hand checked out. My pregnancy itself had pushed you through the hospital in a wheelchair while you screamed degrading comments at me. I walked you to the counter, said you needed your hand check, and they asked if you needed a social worker. I said no. I started shaking and tears started falling. The lady kept calm, nodded quietly at me, and brought up the inpatient hospital room. You became violent with me. You called me disgusting names, saying racist comments as well as the N-word, trying to fight the staff. I tried to love you and speak calmly. I came up to you and you started screaming and kicked your feet into my belly and started shoving me away, screaming awful things. I thought I was going to miscarry. It was so bad. I stood up and the social worker hugged me while I bawled my eyes out. Security took over again. They made sure I was okay and had me leave. I called to check in on you an hour later, though I was falling apart. The nurses called me to make sure I was okay, and I'll never forget them. You were then hospitalized for a week. Elijah never gave up on helping me, even if it was checking in. She's not the bad guy you claim her to be. Let's see. Throughout the week, I sent encouraging letters and notes. You spam called me from the hospital, and when stable, you were still so ugly to me. You said awful things and gaslighted me until I told them just to bring you home. But during the court hearing, you were beyond homophobic at times, yet preach equality. The things you would say broke my heart. I am bisexual and not fully not fully out yet. You treated me disgustingly, and all you got home from being released again. Oh, you even be homophobic around Alicia and some friends, sorry. You got home from being released again, and it got worse and worse. You became more violent, you were medicated, and then stopped taking them when you felt stable again. When you felt stable, because you always enjoyed feeling powerful. You said so yourself. I had to call the police in fear to where they sent squad cars and EMTs, everything. The second you saw the flashing lights, you acted completely fine and tried telling them I was crazy. They didn't take you away. You continued to force me not to sleep. I'd make food for myself, and you would take it from me and throw it away. I tell you I was sick and worried about the baby. You laugh it off. It kept spiraling. We were in our green room, and on the big pink Kirby beanbag, I was trying so hard to shut my eyes for even a moment of sleep. You made me sit up, and you squeezed me and started screaming at me to break my torso bong piece, which was a gift to me. You screamed into my ear, and I was begging you to stop and let go. I was trembling. You started bitching at me when I couldn't do it. You were speaking nonsense. You continued to break shit. You destroyed our home. I couldn't keep up anymore. You were threatening to kill people, our roommate, our friends. You, for some reason, kept bringing up antivenom and how badly you wanted to kill him. You were fully in psychosis at this point. You were speaking nonsense. You continued to break shit. You destroyed our home. I couldn't keep up anymore. You were threatening to kill people. Our roommate. Oh, sorry, I already read that part. You were willing to genuinely murder people. I had dozens of voice recordings of these threats, but you screamed at me and threatened me to delete them when you found out. The police were informed of these recordings. You did this to Alicia as well. Jesus. I begged your mother to call the police because I was afraid you would hurt me after the threats you made, walking around with knives, screaming and waving them. You kept getting in my face. The police offered, and officer called me, and I froze. He said to act like somebody I knew was on the line and started walking towards the front door. He instructed me to stay on the line until the officers on the scene had eyes on me outside. I walked, and the officer ended the call once they confirmed I was safe. You came out after me soon saw the officers and tried to pretend like everything is fine, as if you were just cleaning. There was food, trash, and household items absolutely everywhere. You got in my face with a knife before they arrived, screaming how you wanted to kill our roommate, and then went and slashed his mattress. They saw my pregnant belly and immediately were not having it. You kicked over a box of diapers, and one of the officers had me move behind her. I started backing up. Read the police officer's report for more details. There's a police report, which I will pull up. It's in the twit longer here. I think this is it right here. If Twitter were load, please Twitter, load. So yeah, we have an actual police report. Okay, we fixed it. Okay. Let's see. Read report for more details. You were hospitalized again for a few weeks. More spam calls to me, more harassment and threats to get what you want, and so I'd get you out of the hospital. I was falling apart. I wanted to die so badly. Trigger warning. You had me on the phone while you were in the hospital, and you were bringing up the recordings. I was bawling, saying it marked before I took a deep breath and told myself I could do this. I told myself I was going to be a mom. I told myself I was going to be a fantastic mother, and I would live for her. It was the first time in almost 6 years I've harmed myself. You nearly broke me. I didn't care that I tried to end my life. You didn't care that I tried to end my life. You laughed it off. You even blamed me for the love of my life suicide that took place in 2016. You know how sensitive I am about that boy. I loved and still love him. I begged for him to come save me when I had a moment of sleep, when he was the first face to greet me. And I took that as, I got you, it's going to be okay. I ran to him in the dream. You manipulated me into having them release you again. It continued to get worse. You were too far gone. I had kept you on meds. The woman who was supposed to be my best friend, the girl I loved so very dearly, like a sister, used me to get to you. You let it happen. I warned you from the beginning. I felt like she was trying to get to you, and you brushed it off. You flirted with her in front of me. You threatened to end your life so many times if I didn't listen to you or do what you want. Even when stable, you'd make these threats. That girl was a witness to the awful pain you inflicted on me. Yet she's now dating you, so I haven't had to speak for her to prove this. I tried so hard to love everyone. I did so much. I fought so hard. Even Alicia reassured me I was doing my best. Lots of people did. I called our friends, who are family to me. I called my best friend in another state. I called Alicia. I called your mom. I kept trying to sleep. I tried locking myself in a room, but you'd bang on the door to get to me. You ended up screaming at me to leave. I was so drowsy and tired. I couldn't take it anymore. You ran up to the bed and grabbed my arm. I was laying on my pregnancy pillow to help support my big belly. You took my arm and yanked me so hard out of the bed. I felt a tearing feeling on the side of my stomach. You then dropped me to the floor. After I was screaming in pain and crying, you then ran out of the room. You then ran out. I cried to my friend. I was so scared. I kept telling myself, she's here. She cares about me. I'm gonna be okay. You kept keeping me awake from eating. You purposefully blew all our money, and we were broke. Nearly $6,000 in the negative, in debt. You spend all I had left on candy, drugs, and things I couldn't eat. I ended up screaming, I want my mom. I am a full-grown adult, and then I screamed, help me, please. When you'd throw things at me and hurt my dog, I took care of Albert. I raised him. You took credit. I stopped doing what you said. I was falling more and more apart. I was about to faint from crying so much while you stood at the door calling me vulgar things. You want me to call my dad around 1:30 a.m., so I did. He immediately answered, and I was hysterical and struggling to breathe. I could hear him jumping out of bed in his Colorado home. I'm on my way. He said by 2 a.m. he was on the road to get my whole family to save me. He didn't stop driving. You were texting everyone to get a jump on, trying to make me look bad. I was saying goodbye to you after my family made it, and we were loading up my things. You looked at me and walked away. My family left in the car, and I was screaming, Albert, my pig, I didn't grab Albert. I was heartbroken. I started begging you. I started begging for you. Why? I didn't know. Why? I didn't know. I was giving myself false hope, trying to pretend nothing happened. Okay, I don't care. I had your mom pick up Albert, and Alicia made sure he was safe. So much harassment after I left. I tried sending you loving texts, trying to be kind. Why? False hope. I tried. I was tired. You would call me over and over again. Still wouldn't let me sleep. Let's see. I gave birth far away from you. I gave birth far away from you, and 2 months later, and I'm so thankful I did. The labor and delivery unit was going to send the whole hospital into lockdown if you were to show up. Your whole family agreed with my decision, and they told me so many times. I had my beautiful girl. She's perfect. I showed you and kept trying to act like everything was fine. I wanted us to work so badly. I kept telling you how to make it to where you could be around her. I didn't feel safe whenever you were around unmedicated. You scared me. The harassment never stopped. I continued to try and pretend. I'd tell myself he'll be okay. You were so mean to me, threatened to take my child. She would be dead if I was still there. Come June, I didn't take the harassment anymore. You had me lie to your fans when I became public throughout this whole mess. You faked suicide several times. You were never going to. I kept calling you and yelling that you need to tell your fans that you're fine and to stop lying about being dead. You laugh and say words like, but it's funny, and you say, haha, memes. I felt like I failed your fans and by not saving you. You kept telling me, no one is going to believe you. They like me, not you. People don't believe Alicia, they aren't going to believe you. I'm a SDM, of course, people will believe anything I say. I just like to meme. I felt like I failed everyone. After I finally blocked all your numbers and your socials, I felt free. I felt so lost. Did I not do enough? I'd ask myself constantly. I was too scared to tell the police the truth. I was scared to talk in front of you. I wish I had spoken up. I was afraid to speak online because last time I did, I got a few death threats and awfully mean DMs on Twitter. I kept telling myself to keep quiet. Why? Because aside from all the mean DMs, I got a lot saying how much they loved you, how much you inspired them. And the mom in me was too afraid to ruin that for them. I didn't want to fail anyone by speaking up. I beat myself up with no one cares, no one is going to listen. I felt like no one would stand with me, and that's okay. I understand that some want to protect you. I don't hate your fans, I never will. I know I'll get hate again saying, he's sick, just leave him alone. That's the thing, you know. You know what you're doing, and always have. You never care unless it fires back in your face. I don't want followers. I want you to heal, but I don't want you hurting anyone else. Oh, I don't want to hear. I just want for everyone to listen. All this to stop. I want all this to stop. I don't want to fail anyone. I just want to be that voice that was taken away from so many, to be the voice you silenced. They deserve to know who you really are before you trap someone else. Make them ask, am I good enough? My first statement ends. Jesus Christ, that's the first, okay, that's the first statement. Oh, that is a lot. That is, oh God, that is a lot. Oh, Christ, man. Christ. Alright, let's, how long is the next statement? How many statements are there? Okay, I think with these, it's just... Okay, with these ones, shouldn't be as bad. Although I say that, and it's like, ugh, really long. Wait, kick me saying the N-word. Read this into my first statement. I am bringing all the evidence and my statements together in one file so it doesn't create a huge mess. Warning, sensitive topics ahead. I know mental health is a sensitive subject. I did my best. I followed training and I had from when I worked with kids. I followed hospital advice. I did what my heart wanted me to try. I feel like I failed everyone for not staying, but I had to save myself and my child. I loved him. If other victims and witnesses chose to come forward, do not harass or bully them. Just listen. We just want to be heard. I hope you guys don't hate me for coming forward. If other individuals are comfortable to speak up, I'll stand with them. I felt sick putting this together. I rewrote it many times. I deleted and wrote again. I tried pretending everything was fine. Kept telling him how much I loved and miss him. Thinking, what if it magically makes all the pain go away? I didn't want to disappoint anyone. I'm so sorry to add to negativity to y'all's timeline. It's just tearing me apart so much I wish I could say. But unless those people come forward themselves, domestic violence is very real. Faking personalities for attention is very real. I will not degrade the pain he has brought to so many. He's had his chance. The officers' names will be blocked to prevent them from receiving harassment. I also blocked out any info that would leak to Adam's address, a place I used to live at. I do not wish for him to be stalked at his private home. Again, I have my last name yellowed out to keep my family private and to protect my daughter's identity. Adam's full name has been public for so many years, which is why I didn't bother covering it. I won't share some more graphic things because most of this should be enough. I know y'all will say you should have just left or try to call me attention seeker again. I just want to be heard. I'm tired of feeling like I can't defend myself. The police provided me with private access to these files, and I'll forever be thankful, for the help and support that they provided me. This is one of several videos he took of me degrading me, saying awful things. This is specifically this one is specifically me falling apart. Him trying to make me look bad. He wanted the last $200 I scrambled together, and all I had left so he could buy weed and candy. I was hungry. And so let's pause the music real quick, and then we'll go back to the Twitter.
Screaming just because I asked her to send me back $100. Like, $200 actually, $222. And now she's screaming at me uncontrollably. Albert's just like fucking knocked out. He's like sleeping, big chilling, but she's just screaming at me. She's just sitting here screaming.
Yeah, so like he's so in that instance, it makes it look like she's the hysterical one. But But again, this is a lot of like he said, she said crap. And unfortunately, we probably won't get a definitive answer. At least not for some time. This is a tweet I am speaking of when I mentioned him faking suicide and laughing to me about it after I left. Okay, we're back online. Good. I don't care. After I left, I was trying to tell your fans everything was fine. You were ugly to everyone helping you IRL. Nothing was fine. I just didn't want to let all you down. I'm sorry if I'm disappointing you. Don't cry or feel bad for what may happen next. It was planned. I love you. Let's see, don't please. He threatened suicide to make people look or feel bad for him. He had been the type of person to threaten his life to try and make revenge on an innocent person for not doing what he wants. I do not wish for him to die. I just want him to own up to his actions. This is the bag of candy and drinks I couldn't have. He used knowing I needed something to eat. Sleep deprivation and not eating enough food while pregnant is not safe. I know I should have left sooner. I'm sorry. This is some of the baby stuff I picked out. I picked out everything on my own. He funded some of it because he was too lazy to actually help. He just took credit. This is a very okay, I don't care. This is the crib that taking up 90% of the closet. I used to zoom out of my setting on my phone, which is why it looks bigger than it actually is. Here's some text. Okay, yeah, so these are like this is stuff relating to like all this right here. And like, okay, let me pause this again. Play the video of Albert. French bulldog. French bulldogs are cute, by the way. They're like just to lighten the mood a bit. They're so cute. Here's my pig, Albert, in the video of him locked up in a filthy kennel. He wouldn't drink Gatorade, yet Adam forced him to. Wouldn't let him outside, so he palted all over the house. And Adam would let out in the freezing cold and laughed. Unfortunately, this is just a video of him in the kennel. It doesn't prove that he was trying to give him Gatorade. If you had video of like Adam trying to give him Gatorade, I could make a more convincing argument about it, but unfortunately, it's just how it is. Just hopping in to say hi, can't stay, but have a good stream. Thanks, THS, thank you. Thankfully for the person who sent me those recordings, that person could tell something was not right and stood up for me. I will forever consider that person family. Lastly, I am a badass mother. I give my daughter a fantastic life and will not let this man try and fake fatherly duties when he has none. He has no custody for a reason. He wouldn't even pay child support and went and flew to his girlfriend's kids instead of supporting his own. I know change isn't easy, and he's had his chances. I just tried of seeing people get hurt from his actions. He needs to change. I am getting help. I am thriving here. Don't worry about my safety or health. I am and will be okay. I love all you regardless of whose side you're with. Mental health is not an excuse to abuse to abuse in any way, shape, or form. I want to point out, I know Adam came out as non-binary, but he is far from the most judgmental and homophobic person I've seen. He frequently disrespected the LGBT community and disrespected people of color. I am not begging for money from anyone. I have a job now. I hope you all will listen. I provided all of this info and proof, so hopefully some will hear me and hear the voice that was silenced for too long. As for Adam, I hope you own up to your actions and become someone better and safer and stop lying about the situation around you. I put up the rest of my photos evidence below. Thank you for your time. I hope some of you stand with me, or at least hear me at least. I'm so sorry if I ruined anything for any of you fans. I'm sorry if I disappointed you by failing to help Adam. I did so much that's not even pictured here. And let's see, these are like the recordings of Instagram messages. That's the end of the document, yeah. So my final thoughts are, no matter who's right and who's wrong in this situation, it's definitely fucked up. I don't want to make conclusive statements as of yet because we haven't really seen Adam try to explain himself or themselves. I guess they're non-binary. I didn't know that personally. So sorry for the misgendering. But anyway, I will say though, these are very damning. And if any of this is true, this severely hurts any credibility he had. And his career has been in the toilet for years now. He hasn't even really recovered with the revival of Minecraft. Like, he's barely able to get views compared to the old days. And it's just sad. But knowing this stuff, it's even sadder now. With that being said, this is the end of the topic. Y'all have a good one.